Welcome to Donna's Sewing Circle. Come on in. There's always room for one more. We always save it. Open space. How are you doing today? It's hot here in Kentucky. I'm sure it's hot where you are too. We have that heat dome over us. Today is July. I don't even know what day it is. Sometime in July. July 2026. Today I am on video 11, lesson 11 in my beginner sewing video to help beginner sewers set up their station and get started sewing on the right foot. Today's lesson is understanding interfacing. Now these flyers, these printables, they're free. The link is down below, either in the description and or the first comment. So check it out. They're free. All you got to do is click on the link, provide your email address, and you'll get these for free. There's 15 of them, one for each of my video series. We're on video 11 today. We're making progress. We're getting through. And then finally, when we get down to 15, I will begin my sewing lessons. So I'm excited. I've already started getting things prepared for that. But I print these out on cardstock, and then I have the library laminate them. They're great to keep around your sewing machine, handy referrals. Also, in the links below is for my book, Donna's Sewing Circle. You can get it as a Kindle or as a print workbook paperback. And in the paperback one are 15 images that you can cut out, frame, and hang in your sewing room. They're really pretty. You can, I think on my Kindle it's set up that you can print it also, so you can print it from your Kindle if your Kindle is set up like that. I'm not real familiar with Kindle. But at any rate, let's get into today's lesson. It is about interfacing, and there's so many different types. I use it in my classes all the time. As a matter of fact, we use fusible fleece, which I have here. We use it in the very first class. I always provided it free for my students, but you can buy this at Hobby Lobby. They're in the big rolls in the back of the sewing section. And it says fusible fleece in the paperwork. It's Pellon. And the way this works, it makes your project a little more stiff. It's really flexible. It's not the really firm stuff. You can get some that is really, really stiff. You do not want to work with the stiff one in clothing. I made that mistake when I made I believe it was a dress for my granddaughter, her very first dress I ever made, and it called for interfacing, and I got the stiffest you could get. My goodness, it was like wearing a board. So don't get the really stiff stuff for your sewing projects unless it calls for it. Some projects do call for it, but most that you wear, most craft projects do not. So with the fusible fleece, it is fleece, and on the back side is bumply. That is the glue, and we iron it onto our fabric. When you iron, so you need to cut it the edge of your, or the width and length of your project. You don't want it to be overhanging because there's glue on it. And if you overhang it and start ironing, you're going to get glue on everything, and it'll make a mess. You'll attach it to things you didn't mean to attach it to. All right, now I'm going to take you over to the sewing or the ironing board. Okay, we're at the sewing or the ironing board. Before you iron fusible anything onto your fabric, you want to iron your fabric, make sure there's no wrinkles or creases. So we're going to do that real quick. I use the Linen Fresh. It does not say it's for ironing, but I've used it for years and years. It lets off this beautiful scent when you iron it. And since I'm using it on the ironing board, of course the scent goes through to my fabric on my ironing board. So anytime I iron, whether I use it or not, it releases that beautiful scent. Okay, now, like I said, fusible fleece has two sides. It has a smooth side and a bumpily side. You want the bumpily side, which has glue on the back side of your fabric, not the front. You put it on the back side. Even it out, because like I said, you want it to be smaller than your fabric. Once you have it where you want it, iron it down on the fabric side. Do not iron like this. I'm actually going to press it, not iron it. It's harder. It doesn't stick as well. So you always want to iron from the front side, and you press down and you hold it for a few minutes. That gives a chance for the glue to melt and adhere to the fabric. There you have it. It's glued on and it's ready for you to work with. That's fusible fleece. Another thing, this is called heat bond. Heat and bond. You can actually buy this at Walmart also, and it'll tell you. It says heat and bond light. You can sew through heat and bond light. If you get the heavier duty ones, you cannot sew through them. You'll gum up your needles. So I've got a light. It has a paper covering, and then it has bumpily. The bumpily is glue. Put the bumpily side on the back side of your fabric. Make sure it is smaller than your fabric, or you will get it all over your iron. Once you get it positioned, you press it, press down on it and hold it. Okay. Now you see a piece of paper stuck to my project. What you do is you pull the paper off, and now you have glue on the back of this. This is great for applique. You can stick it on your project, and it will actually we'll put it on the back on the front of this. I'll ruin it. Hang on a second. I don't want to ruin my project because I'm going to be using that in a few days, and I don't want to ruin it. So we'll just get a new piece of fabric. I got plenty of fabric. Okay, so I'm going to iron this real quick, get the wrinkles and the creases out of it. And that's what you want to do. You always want to get the wrinkles and creases out before you add anything to it. Okay, now in real life, this is an applique. It's got glue on it. So in real life, you would cut around the applique because more than likely you don't want all that excess fabric. So I'll cut around these just kind of roughly, because this is a throwaway project. This is just to show you. Okay, so I cut them out just to show you, and it's got the glue on the back. So now I'm going to put it on the top side of my fabric. Position it where I want it. Make sure that it's not, that the glued applique is on the fabric and not extending beyond the fabric, or you will glue your applique down to your ironing board. Ask me how I know. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've made every mistake imaginable, and I'm hoping that through my sewing lessons that I can keep you from making the mistakes I made. Notice I'm not ironing, I'm pressing. I'm holding it down and moving it. And there you have it. The reason that's not stuck down, I didn't have the glue up here. But there you have it. You have an applique, and now that it's glued down, I can sew around these and it'll become permanent. They won't move. They become a permanent part. Isn't that cool? That's what you could do with interfacing. This is called a heat and bond. Great for appliques. This is called fusible fleece. It's great for projects if you're making purses, wallets, pot holders. You need a heat resistant, so not pot holders. Placemats, anything, just about anything you can use that for. And then we have, I don't use this very often. I just have a little bit of it. This has no glue on it. It's just interfacing that you have to sew in. So what you do is you cut it to what you need it at. You cut it to size, like if you're making usually a sewing pattern, a shirt, a dress, something that calls for interfacing. A lot of times people will use this. You cut it to size, you pin it, and then you sew it as you go. But like I said, I'd rather use the ones that's got a little bit of glue on it. It makes it easier for it to stay in place. So those are the interfacings I have to show you today. If you have any questions, those are the interfacings I have to show you today. This, like I said, this is just a beginner series. I get more in depth as I actually am teaching projects. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Talk to you soon. God bless.